Today we will be making a single-ended spray. And the first thing that we need to do is pre-soak our oasis. We're going to pop it in our single tray, nice and firmly, and then we're just going to get our floristry tape, go around a couple of times to secure it, get the ends off, and make sure your foam is nicely secure in the base. And then I've just got some foliages here, so I've got a packet of leather leaf, I've got a few stems of thelaspi, and a few stems of eucalyptus with some bare grass as well. So this spray is going to be more of a country garden sort of linear theme. So I'm going to base it with the leather leaf. So if I just push those to one side and bring this more central. So we'll get a nice big stem of leather leaf. Cut it down. Now this is going to be 3 foot, so if you're not quite sure, if you can't gauge 3 foot naturally, which I couldn't at the beginning, then please do use a tape measure. But I can now look at it and know that it's 3 foot. So it's basically just essentially like the double-ended sprays that we've done, but it just has like a semicircle back. Now these ones I do find more difficult than the double-ended spray because it's asymmetrical. So with the double-ended spray you always know what you're going to do on this side, you're going to do on the other side, but this is completely different. So it needs to be in a diamond shape, but more of like a teardrop shape. So diamond at the front going round into the teardrop. So I focus on the front first. So I put 3 stems in like this. So it essentially looks like this. And then just go around adding the leather leaf as you were if you were doing a double-ended, but just stop when you come to the middle. Okay, so just think that you're making a diamond shape, but you're stopping when you come to the middle. So we'll put one going straight here, and the same on the other side. Now, to make that semicircle back, I'm going to be taking smaller units of the leather leaf and just do like an imaginary semicircle and go around with the smaller units to make that semicircle, and make sure that you're happy with that shape first. Okay, and then once you're happy with that shape, we need to make it all in line with each other, like so. So I'm going to add the biggest stems in to the back once I'm happy with this sort of shape that's going on here. So we're then going to match the length of the other pieces of the leather leaf. I normally use the tips because you get a bigger surface and you get that pointy end as well. Okay, so your structure is then going to look like this, and that's the base of your structure of the single-ended spray. Okay, now we'll take that leather leaf away for now, just pop it over here, and then we're going to go in with our eucalyptus. So with the leather leaf we're just using that as a base because it just helps with the structure, but it's not necessarily like an English garden foliage, but it really helps to build the structure. So then I go round with more free sort of country garden flowing foliages to make that country garden look. So I'm just following the same shape as the leather leaf with the eucalyptus. Now I think I've used about a packet and a half of the eucalyptus. I think that will just be perfect. Okay, now we've done our bottom layer, we then have to come up to the top of the arrangement. And what I like to do, I just like to put one at the front here and then gauge where my focal flower is going to be. So the focal flower is going to be more further back than it would in a double-ended spray. So if you just go a little bit off centre, you know that your focal flower is going to go there, because essentially we want it to be a bit of a domed shape at the top, going in all the same shape. And this is why I said I find these more difficult to do than a double-ended. Okay, then we will go in with our thelaspi. Okay. You can really use any foliage and flowers as you'd want, but this particular one is for an order, so I'm just going to have to do it as per the order. But yeah, you can do any technique, do bespoke, you can do traditional, you can use any sort of flowers, linear or just normal roses or rosebuds, whatever you'd like really. Okay, and then once I'm happy with all those foliage, I'm then going to go around the gaps with some more leather leaf. Okay, so my structure now looks like this. And remember to trust the process. These single-ended sprays are difficult to make. And now I've just covered the gaps with some more leather leaf. And then I'm going to add some bear grass just to give it a sort of frilly sort of look to it. Makes it look more wild as well. So I just cut like about 5 stems like this, and then just grab them at the bottom, and then just make sure all the ends of the stems are going in. Gives it a lovely texture, movement and structure. So I'm actually really liking this, so I might put it flowing throughout. Making sure they're all in the oasis because you don't want them to be dry. Now I'm making this the day before the funeral, so that I know it will be lovely and fresh and ready to go in the morning. Perfect. Love that. And that's all we're going to do for the foliage, and then we will add the flowers. Don't worry if you can still see bits of the oasis because they are going to be covered with our flowers. So I've just faced the spray so it's looking at you so you can see it from a different point of view. So this is the front of it. And basically we are going to be using these flowers in this bucket here. I'll turn this round, and we're going with a purple, lilac, blue and white theme. Okay, and I put these all in there because I know that I can use all of these, but these cabbage flowers. Okay, so I like to start off with the delphiniums because they're the most linear and They just give a nice structure to it. Before, I keep saying structure, don't I? So start off with your longest stem, bring it round the front. So I like to put 2 at the front here. And then with these delphiniums, just follow the structure that you did with the foliage. So just pretend it's a foliage stem basically. And just follow all those lines you've done with the foliage. Put some round the back. Can you see this okay? Yeah. And round the angle at the side, and then just put some coming through the middle as well. So this is the tricky part, because when you get to the middle, bring it over to you. So you've got to know where to put your flowers in that direction, so it's going to the direction of the semicircle at the back, and where to come in this direction so it faces the direction of the flowers coming down. So I'll show you the gap in the middle. So I just pretend that that's where my focal flower is going to go, because you remember we put our eucalyptus stem here, so we knew our focal flower was going there. So I leave a few inches between that delphinium and that eucalyptus, and then another few inches, and then I go in the other direction. And then you can see that is a lovely line of delphiniums through the centre, all coming round just to make that shape. Right, so that's all the delphinium that we need. And then we shall go in with our stocks. So my customer wanted like all sort of linear type of flowers, so nothing with like a bald head like a rose or ranunculus, carnations, etc. And then I'm going to go around exactly the same as we did with the delphiniums. Just make sure they're nicely distributed and not stuck together. So you've got some nice gaps between them. And just do exactly the same as you did with the delphs. So I've got 10 of these going in. Make sure you've got some nice height at the top as well. Okay. Beautiful, okay. Now my customer does want linear flowers, but she also wanted lilies to be incorporated in a way where it would match the spray. So I said we'll get small lilies with smaller heads that are longer and more of a spike on top, so you can't really tell, and they're not going to be like really bulky within the spray. So I've got these ones, and basically I'm just going to cut them into smaller units and put them in there, so I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so probably just cut that down to there. So we've got a stem like this, maybe cut that one off. So we've got a longer stem to pop into the oasis. And do the same again. And these really help because they cover a lot of the gaps as well, and they do actually look really nice. Gives it a more of a wider look. Beautiful. So that's all we need with the lilies, because I didn't want to go too over the top with those. Then we will take some of our Campanula. So So I'll get a few stems of those. Do exactly the same principle. Try and use all the stem that you can, because with these you can get smaller units like this, but then you can see where you've cut it. But don't worry, if you make sure that you cut it down right enough and put it right into the oasis, you won't be able to see it, and you can use it. You can use more heads of the stem then. Okay, just any gaps that you can see, just fill them in with these. Don't forget the back either. Right, and then we're going to use some alstroemeria. So these ones are the purple alstro. And you can either use them like this, oh, that one's not very happy, use them like this, or cut them down into smaller units with the scissors, but you can get little stems like this as well. I think I might put the full ones at the back. Yeah, that gives it a nice round look, which I will show you in a minute. So when you're doing a single-ended spray, do keep going round in all areas to make sure that you are filling everything in properly. Maybe some here, make sure all the colours are nicely distributed as well. Okay. Then if you can see any other gaps, then you can add more of the flowers that we've included as well. So I'll show you how mine's looking at the moment. The water might drip, so please bear with. Okay, so that's my single-ended spray shape. This is the back, that's the sides, this is the front, that's the other side, and I'm just going to add a few more flowers in to make it look fuller. But that is basically the structure and principle of making a single-ended spray. And also, if you've got any filler flowers, so I've got this lovely aster, not astro, here, and I'm going to fill in some of the gaps that I can see with this. So if you've got any like gyp, any colours that are supposed to be going in the spray, as a filler flower you can put in it as well. I'm going to put some at the front. Yes, that is looking beautiful. Okay, so I think I'm really happy with this now. Ta-da! What do you think, guys? Leave us a comment. And here is a better look at all the flowers in there. no gaps at all. I'm really happy with this. Thank you so much for watching, and if you did like it and found it informative and would like to see more weekly tutorials, please subscribe, like and comment. And thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.